button is going live. We are live.
Yay.
Push that button. Push this button. Push all the buttons. Hello, I am the button man.
Activate.
And then in mod channel, share this link with Lucky.
What?
I see things on the internet sometimes. I get a strong sense Lucky is speed reading an article.
Oh, this is in the RP server?
Yes, I believe so. So, to context for chat who's here, I was just reminded of this story that I read. That apparently, for an RP server, a in-game Final Fantasy XIV nightclub run by players bought real-life billboards.
That's amazing.
Now, there are no pictures in this article, but I assume they're on the internet. It's just absolutely flummoxed, I am. Except not really.
Not really. I'm not really bothered. I'm like, neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
no. Yeah, no. Lucky's just gonna. I'm gonna take a sip. I'm gonna take a sip of my raspberry lemonade. Here you go. Nice.
Yep. All right, but yes, hello everybody. It's Great Ace Attorney on a Tuesday, so if you don't follow our Discord or any Twitters, first of all, shame on you. But second of all, yeah, so I wasn't really planning on taking a July 4th holiday, but, you know, Thor, God of Thunder said no. So it stormed pretty heavily in my area last afternoon.
Sorry, I'm laughing because the first time I heard you say this, it was Zeus. Second time, it was Jove, and now it's Thor. I'm just like,
yeah, I've switched up which God of Thunder it is every time. But yes, heavy thunderstorming was going on, including some very close-sounding lightning strikes, like, you know, rattle the windows on the roof kind of shit.
Yeah.
And when one of those hit, our internet died. And there was apparently an outage. You know, the company texted everybody to let them know and all that stuff. And I've heard, like, some transformers or, like, phone boxes on the street are, like, blown up. So, you know, real shit for those of you who don't live in a lightning strike area. But after the internet was supposedly repaired, it wasn't actually repaired. And it turns out that either something in the repair process or the general system nuked our modem. So that was at, like, you know, 5 or 6 o'clock on July 4th. So fuck you if you want to get a replacement. But my parents did go out and grab a new modem, and after that went through a really long setup process for some reason. It's functioning, and I have internet again. So yay, thumbs up, everybody.
Yay.
Now I can speak to you, and I talked to Lucky about, because I would have just plugged ahead and done Fail Portrayal, but we talked a little about some stuff, and I said if he was down to clown, I'm ready to do Great Ace Attorney, because the way I phrased it was, I like to decide when I don't want to work. I don't like to be told I can't work. So I was a little nettled, a little with the cabin fever. But yes, also, since people are posting... Okay, it's there. It is there. It's just on the bottom. All right. I was like, is the chat window showing? It is. You may have noticed the badges are different. So after the huge infusion of members over the past couple streams, thank you so much, those who gifted memberships and accepted them, we have like 3 new emote slots we probably need to take some polls on.
Oh, okay.
But I went in there to check the emotes, and I wanted to check the badges, and I was like, what are YouTube's default badges like these days? Well, guess what? It turns out that YouTube's default badges are now what I wanted to do with custom badges anyway, but better, so I switched back. We will think about adopting an actual, you know, unique membership badge timing later, but like I said, I literally tabbed it over, and I'm like, oh, these are just different colored stars. That's what I was doing, only theirs are, you know, actually graphically designed. And transparent, so I'll just switch back. So if you're wondering why they're different, I went with the default just because I was like, oh, this is what I was already trying to do.
Perfect.
But yes, so let's see. Continue should just grab us right back. If you recall, we spent about 30 extra minutes last week. Wow, yeah, we're just right here. Hello, here's Fish and Chips Man. He's gonna munch.
Infinite fish and chips.
Yes, unlimited. Like, watch, he just takes bite, and then bite, and then...
It doesn't even finish it.
No, he just takes 2 bites and then it loops. It's adorable.
Oh, I don't know about that. Well, I've never been a fish and chips kind of guy.
No, as a guy who's not big on fish, actual fish and chips in England, in Cornwall, right in the fishing village, delicious. Chef's kiss. Oh, yes, also, I'll probably have to repeat myself because there'll be people who say it later. But hey, yes, I was able to, because it was in the afternoon, I was able to wake up and log in before my internet exploded. So
Sick.
again, if you don't follow me on Twitter, yes, I did get Castorian about 250 Saint Quartz. And then I did like 2 or 3 more 10 rolls, and they also sucked. Even Skip Gang, this banner was really miserable. I had like 1 pull with like 4 stars, and then everything else was just mins and extra copies of the 4-star CE. But yes, I did get a Castoria. I did actually turn out to have enough materials I could 10-10-10er right away, and I was able to today when I got my internet back, level her to 90, so yay.
Yay.
And I got Scotty on the GSSR, which is what that Infinity Gauntlet tweet was about earlier.
Exciting.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about that and the full extent of the damages, the pluses and the positives and the negatives on Let's Talk this week. So.
Oh, here we go.
Let's clear the throats. So first of all, I will read this line again, even though I'm sure I read it last week. Could we trouble you? Boy, what do you think? Might need to go a little deeper with that. Ah! Lovely weather, isn't it? Thanks, Ryunosuke. Great conversations. What the weather's going to do with anything? All right, Ryunosuke. It's been like 5 minutes. I'm getting tired of this read. Ag! Arg! Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart.
Ah, it's a deadly weapon.
Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eat out of your hand, you know?
I mean, I could probably eat out of your hand right now.
But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. My mic is slightly off center. Let me center that up.
Whoa!
I'm a busy man. I'm a very busy man.
How are you not a fucking balloon?
Well, remember, it's the 1900s. Like, he has to get everywhere on foot.
True, I suppose.
There's a crime to investigate, but I'm here having to give Alexi you were talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? I haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. Oh, and all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. I dropped the H in heard. Yeah, ripping sound. It's my reputation at the yard going to tatters. They need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
With a C. Eh?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's assistant,
Eh?
It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? Oh, if he turns a fucking 180, I'm gonna be so damn mad.
I mean, I just like that the way with this expression Susanna says, it's lovely weather today we're having, isn't it?
And so, like, it'll be lovely weather or else.
It's not seasonally fine, I grant you. Well, we
God
don't see a lot of
fucking damn.
sunshine. Unbelievable. How did she pull that off? Eye contact, Ryunosuke.
Lies because she's pretty.
So, Lord Stronghart has asked me to fill you in on the case. Name's Tobias Gregson, Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Yes, I am.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson?
What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Oh, and we have dialogue buttons.
Push!
Greggy.
Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? He's in a fucking book. He's in the Holmes. He's in the Sholmes fictions.
You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective. Hold on, let me check his hat. Let me see if he's, gosh, it's been like 4 weeks. I've completely forgotten his name. What's our, Inspector Hosonaga, there it is. He's not Inspector Hosonaga under the hat. Yes, hello, I'm Inspector Hosonaga. God damn it.
No, he's not coughing up enough blood.
Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact.
Very well?
Yes, he features prominently in The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes.
Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Ranced Magazine?
That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderfully friendly rivalry.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? Come on, Ryunosuke, you know that's not true. Well, it's kind of true. The great but oft loopy. That's incredible! Oh, well, I don't know about all that. Mr. Sholmes is a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson's the pick of the bad lot of all of Scotland Yardas. Those were his own words.
That's his highest praise?
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
True facts. That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's not all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit, to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now, whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. About me fish and chips. Rumors?
Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. We're a deep, distrustful, suspicious lot here in London.
He's probably not completely wrong.
I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. But what if eggs were rice, Inspector Gregson?
What about eggs on rice?
Oh,
I was thinking about eggs on rice. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work.
oh dear. Perhaps sudden rise in fame does change people.
All right, now tell me about the case that I took last time.
On Dragon Ball Z.
So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before, you know, in case we forgot that he T-posed and flew out of here carried by pigeons earlier.
I remember that.
Nothing to tell, really? As far as we're concerned, yeah, it could be more simpler.
Oh dear. That probably means... As far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
Congratulations, Susato. We're 4 cases in. You understand how the game works. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital, unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack a poor woman from behind?
I suppose you would have finished off whoever it was with a Susato takedown, would you?
That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo, I would have done the Susato sword catch and broken his blade with my bare hands. Brace yourself, Yonosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. We got him right away. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit?
Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Oh god, I hope it's a witness.
No, it's gonna be something completely balderdash. Watch.
Let me stop you right there. You're waiting your time on this one. I beg pardon? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help him out now. I'm slowly degenerating Gregson's accent until eventually he's just gonna be.
I mean, that seems about right for this character.
Why ever not? Wow, Ryunosuke got very fancy there. Imple. The prosecutor who has been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Beric Van Zorks.
Again, it's balderdash. God damn it.
No.
Yes.
Sounds like you heard of him, man. I mean, for us, the players, Van Zykes is amazing. Because in the first case alone, we got crushed the glass in his bare hand, threw it into the candelabra, and he did the desk slam with his boot. And I gotta tell you, we haven't seen all of his animations yet.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zykes.
I have a note here that reminds me.
Believed to be the harbinger of death itself.
I do believe I actually wrote some notes about how I'm supposed to do his voice. I'm hoping I can actually remember what I say here. I put low but throaty here. I'm just like, me.
The Reaper of the Bailey. Oh, new dialogue? Lord Beric Van Zykes, who we faced in court only yesterday. And even though we won, the guy still died.
We didn't win. If that wasn't a win.
Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
I mean, technically, yes, you're correct. That should probably have been a mistrial because the evidence was tampered with. It should have been, we're gonna call this trial off. We're gonna send Mr. McGilded back to jail. We're gonna like reinvestigate, get the prosecutor, maybe get a new prosecutor, new judge, new jury, and try it again. But alas, alack, he burnt up before we could do that, allegedly. I know some people in chat aren't convinced he actually burnt up.
I'm not convinced.
Flashback, back.
Back.
I believe this was a McGilded line, so I'm going to read it that way. What Van Zykes stands for the prosecution? They call it the accused his sacrificial lambs. I can still do this accent pretty easy.
I wish I could do accents.
I mean, there's some that work and some that don't. I'm very surprised Greg's is so easy, but you got to remember last time we did this with me and the judge, and I was just completely lost the whole time. Like, at least with Van Zykes, other people got in your head a little bit, and you decided to change halfway. I just couldn't find what the fuck I was doing. And every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned.
I'm sorry, I cannot just let Jamaican Dracula slide.
The Reaper of the Bailey nickname. Sorry, I have to say that better. The Reaper of the Bailey. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it?
I mean, that's a broken record.
No, you're wrong, actually.
Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zykes, Mr. Hart Naruto secured a verdict of not guilty.
Not for lack of trying. And what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means even against the Reaper of the
Bailey.
it's not impossible to save the defendant.
I'm sorry, I watch Grand Carnival every day, and it had Doomsday in it, and I can't get over his voice ever.
It's pretty good. Nope. You really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? Just gonna put me fish and chips in my pocket? That's where it belongs. What happened to that bloke at the end, eh? He's dead. Ah. Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. I almost said flames there. So, you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you?
I mean, I was knowing what was saying was we said we saved it or not. We said we got a verdict of not guilty.
What are you saying? Look, if Van Zykes could get the dirt to stick to everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. Or he'd be Miles Edgeworth. He's not born yet. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work via miracles, he works magic. Black magic.
Someone give me
Like
the
you,
baseline.
Mr. Black-Robed Man. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that?
I believe this is the time. This is the time in the life of people believe that actually blowing smoke up your ass was a good idea. So, go ahead, believe whatever.
Right, well, I filled you in as requested. I'm very nearly out of chips.
Ow.
But not me fish. It's magic fish, don't you know? Caught it in Ireland. It spoke to me. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Bri'Ish, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place.
That's correct, Mum. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already? How dare you? I will now sever you with karma. Shing! He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. Wow.
Your professionalism is off the charts.
He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. Wait, I wonder if it was 53 in the original, because I have to wonder, because that's the reverse of tree fitty.
I know.
So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Ooh, went a little too Reaper of the Bailey on that one.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yeah, I don't know, Susato. The fact that our opponent is a vampire count?
Bruh.
Ah! He's here, but it's daylight. I'm one of those daywalkers, don't you know?
To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking.
Well, you don't look like it.
The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too.
But if the man they've arrested is innocent... You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny.
So,
If I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help?
do you really think you had to ask?
Hold on, I forgot to mute the Discord server. Or mute Discord.
After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Alright, we're playing some investigatory music. Thank you. Go in. Arigato. So then, shall we?
Yes. Let's go.
And then she flies out through the big pen. right, we've already examined everything in here. Okay. So we got a choice. We can go to the scene of the crime, or we can go to prison to talk to the guy.
Let's go talk to the guy.
All right, let's go see the client.
Or their defense lawyer. We should probably say hi. I want to see this bloke.
Wait, he's
19th
inmate
of Feb-
53. Why is he in cell 9?
Maybe he has like maybe he's just like that in the records, and he says inmate 53, cell 9. Because this is the 19th of February, local prison, cell 9.
Just the local prison, by the way, not like London City Prison, not the Tower of London, just local prison. So these are British prison cells. I
Look
feel
very
like
dungeony.
I feel like they were built before Japan became a unified country.
That was several hundred years ago.
Oh, they're ghastly.
It feels just like a dungeon. I'm gonna keep doing that.
No, Susato, don't say that. We're gonna do the weird tacked-on RPG elements. No. Just as we just do a Final Fantasy screen wipe for battle.
I'm just hearing. Ugh.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Jeez.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
It is worse. It sucks in here. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. This exact cell we're standing in front of. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what
There's
he's
a
like.
candle. Inmate 53, your legal representation is here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Yeah, I have no idea what voice to use for this guy, so just...
Well, let's get an image of him.
Am I a cat as yet with no name?
It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
I think you got a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on in here?
Susato, I think that our client is crazy, or worse, an artiste.
I was gonna say an intellectual, but
I have no
lines are
idea,
blurred.
but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese.
Oh shit! Holy shit! Whoomst!
Excuse me, but who?
Shh! Quiet!
They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it.
Bro, you been eating the mushrooms in the back of your dungeon cell or something? You need to calm down, man.
I think there's some dilated eyes going on there.
I mean, his pupils are squiggles.
Yeah.
Right. So, could I ask you who
There you are.
exactly?
You come to cuss me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. I mean, if this is fucking Poe, I wouldn't believe it. He kind of has that Poe look.
A ghost? I don't believe Poe speaks Japanese, though. This is a historic domain character, though. As in, this is a real life guy. It's funny.
Oh, is it Tesla?
No, he's Japanese. Remember?
Oh, wait, no, fuck. Oh, okay, so we must be speaking in Japanese now,
Yeah.
since we're speaking on.
We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance?
Oh, he cleared up.
Zhoop.
This is beyond my wildest dreams.
Hard cut.
Forgive me for that outburst, Edit. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine, really. We're just a little surprised, that's all.
Imagine it. It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land.
Yes, this guy loves alliteration.
So hearing that sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot toys here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment.
Who could have guessed that this new client, Lord Strongheart, assigned to us, would turn out to be a fellow Japanese?
Ah. What compassion my fellow countrymen show. To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way to Japan to defeat a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon.
A first-class lawyer? Well, I did arrive via first class. Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
Lie, just lie. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened?
No, Susato, I would like to know his name so I may send him the bill.
Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, I can. I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent.
I'm having a bit of fun with this.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be.
Thank you. Oh,
Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
and I am Naruto-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by government, notoriously named Natsume.
Oh, it's Sosuke. It's an author.
Yeah. He's a poetical soul. But yeah, he's an
Yes.
author. Soseki Natsume. And I believe they established that this is technically before he has finished writing the work he is most known for, I Am a Cat.
Yes. Now that I know who it is, that cat joke in the beginning makes sense.
Converse. Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual name. It's not a pun. It's just a real-ass Japanese name.
Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume.
Nomo de plume? You mean an alias?
That's right, Naruto-san. No. Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that.
And haiku? That really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this. It is beyond the pale.
Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here?
No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh.
What? Just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No. What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language.
Well, there's your problem.
Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable.
Correct. I see. Could you not do knife hands at me, please? Thank you.
Only the other day, I was told to send my report about my first year here. I tinted a blank piece of paper.
Of course, how poetical.
Wise words on white washi.
I mean, washi is just paper, but that's a special kind of paper, but still.
You must be a man of great standing.
I assume what he's going for with the YMCA type moves is probably trying to invoke the appropriate kanji for what he's saying. I'm just
Maybe.
guessing. Like, that's my best guess as to why he fucking YMCA dances constantly. That or some kind of, like, poetic interpretive dance type homage.
Oh, yes. So I'm often told.
And often like to be told, it seems. I see his mustache. I gotta say, while this is very funny, I do not like how we're constantly, like, I lean in and then I lean back to put Susanoo in frame, and then I gotta lean back in.
Forward and back and forward and back and forward and
Like
back
that.
and one step forward.
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? Didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder.
Oh God, he is. I twitch.
Murder? Oh, no. It's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she?
Not yet.
But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes.
Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
No watching. I didn't see anyone.
What?
If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Oh dear. It seems that this case is becoming rather complicated.
Yeah, it's almost like you said it would.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse. The curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient.
I'm having fun with the alliteration. I'm not gonna lie.
I figured you would. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. How can this be?
Now that I know this man isn't actually British, and I don't know, we don't really have like Japanese accent. I'm just kind of giving him my voice, but a little more intense.
It's vital that we find out more about the case.
Stop with the zoom in.
We must return to the dialogue.
It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog.
Ah, the fog. One of them
It's always the
London
fog.
P supers. Can't see shit.
I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books and was on my way back to my accursed lodgings.
Give him a little bit of a Brit. He's been there a year. You pick up some shit.
Sure the bookshop wasn't accursed too?
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out a sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her,
That is a large lass.
she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed under the whole cold hard slabs of the stone at my feet.
Well, I assume that's why she's still alive, because I'm going to point out that I'm going to guess based on the handle to blade ratio, there's got to be like 3 or 4 inches of knife embedded in her back.
No, I bet she's not actually that big, and she just has a fuck ton of padding on right now.
She's just, I mean, it is February in London. She's just wearing 4 coats.
Yeah.
Though, that does make me wonder, what? This is one of those things. You know, is it a thing or is it just storytelling? Why is she, like, unconscious in hospital right now? Because she got a knife in the back. That's not usually a pass-out injury. Because I'm pretty sure it's not in her spine.
No, well, nah, she's being silenced. But no, it's like, I mean, the only way you, well, if you were stabbed and injured, you probably want to go to the hospital. Well, you want to go to the hospital, but not unconscious.
Yeah,
There
no,
has to
no,
be
no.
something else.
You would have to be, to pass out from a stab wound, you have to sit and bleed for a while because the blood loss makes you faint. So, well, I'm sure there will be something else. Or there won't. Who knows?
Who knows? How terrible. This man is going through a drug withdrawal, I swear to fucking God.
I held out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard.
Slight exaggeration there, perhaps.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
And he ran. He ran so far away, he couldn't get away.
Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow.
That's not good. Not I ran away by flock of seagulls. That is good. I mean, your story.
The sail is shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that?
Careful, buddy.
I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people.
Seems you're doing fine by me.
I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you?
Regrettably. Apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
I mean, I'm pretty sure fingerprinting isn't invented yet. It didn't come up last time. We barely have blood testing. Oops,
Actually, I'm curious. Let me look that up.
I'm pretty sure in some Sherlock Holmes novels he does expound upon the art of fingerprinting, but it's not popularized until after that. No one? Oh, great. And not oh great, the renowned mangaka. We're just gonna keep doing references.
So the victim was unknown to you, and there was no one else on the street at the time.
Clearly, Mr. Naruhodo, a ghost did it.
That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
Oh, I forgot to do my Doomsday voice.
What conundrum? Let me zoom back in. Oh my God. Okay. I mean, I know he's the client of the case, guys, but come on.
I mean, we're getting information here and there.
We are. It's funny how they keep breaking it up. Like I need to take a nap or something in between dialogue trees. What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum?
Actually, I'm gonna put a pause on this. Interesting enough, fingerprinting as a terms of identification has been used in China as early as 300 BC and Japan as early as 700 AD, in the United States since the early 1900s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if the writers of this
Well,
game
probably
remember that, but
Well, like I said, I'm saying this as a form of identification, maybe not in forensic sciences. I haven't found that out
Yeah.
yet.
But that does mean that as a, college-educated person, Ryunosuke and Susato should probably be aware of the concept. It's just, the fingerprint collecting powder would be the trick. That does mean that if anybody playing L5R and if you're playing a Kitsuki investigator, you can totally bust out your fingerprint knowledge. But yes, I believe you have the next line read also.
Oh, yes.
Well, if what Soseki has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain.
Ah, here it is. It wasn't until 1911 that fingerprints were first accepted by U.S. courts as a reliable means of identification.
Yeah, so, I think, Axe brought up in chat about, IDing the knife to him. I do not think at this time period Scotland Yard would routinely have a procedure to lift fingerprints off the knife and be like,
Yeah.
hey, you're barehanded. Knife, hand, fingerprints. But
Knife hand.
I would not be shocked. I'm trying to remember if he does, but I don't. But I would not be shocked if at some point, because he did the pink gas on handprints in the second case. I would not be shocked if Sherlock Sholmes, I almost said the wrong one. Sherlock Sholmes doesn't pull out his fingerprint dust gun, especially because fingerprinting is a mini game in older Ace Attorney games, which are set later than this. But anyway.
Sorry, when you say something, I'm like, I must know.
Then he apparently fled without being seen.
I did.
But if that's the case, surely this man had to be the culprit? But also,
No,
second bullet point, Ryunosuke,
Why is he? How did he get arrested if no
Yeah.
one saw him?
who traced you?
Oh, you! What did you say?
I didn't say anything, buddy. That was in blue and in parentheses. That was an internal monologue. Nothing. I didn't say anything.
This dude is really going through drug withdrawal. I swear to fucking God.
Oops. Perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Clearly, his apartment is accursed because he routinely chases the dragon.
I mean, look at his eyes. His eyes are actually fucking dilated now.
Yeah, no. He goes from dilated huge eyes to squiggle eyes. Like, the man clearly needs some opium.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me.
There you go. Susada's got her head on straight.
What I was thinking of was, how did Soseki-san actually become to be arrested?
Sorry? Come in.
Oh shit, the violins.
He didn't touch the victim, and there was no one at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh, yes. She's right.
It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me.
God
Shit.
damn it.
Of all the bad luck.
I love Van Zykes.
A cursed great detective? Could it be?
I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. This haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody, begone. May you be cursed until the end of your days, Sherlock Sholmes.
And they play his leitmotif. Ha 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 ha. Hey, look, it's me, Sherlock Holmes in sepia tone. That wasn't British enough. I'll catch it by the time he shows back up. I knew it! Yes, hello, it's me, Sherlock Holmes.
Mr. Sholmes?
Susada's gonna be like, he's done it. We should kill him now.
Sherlock Sholmes.
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure.
It was the morning after that nightmare that unfolded. Excuse me. It was the morning after that nightmare that had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door.
Oh, man. Starving artist in London, huh? Well, at least he wasn't eating a hard biscuit.
They started shouting at me. This is the police. Put the weapon down. It was cheese. Yes, it was a thin sliver. Yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination, devils.
Knife. Cheese. Cheese knife. Commence
That is a
Soseki mission. You clearly got a trying warning yesterday.
And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Again with the cat reference. That's Sherlock Sholmes.
Ah, so you've read Lewis Carroll's seminal work. Which would be pretty recent around this time period, I think?
Let me check.
Actually, it's just Sherlock Sholmes. He's English, you know.
Alice's Adventure in Wonderland was 1865, so it's been about
Okay, it's
40
been
years.
a few years, yeah. It would be a classic at this point, then.
Yeah, probably got some translations around, and someone who's maybe like reading English would pick up some classics, I would think.
I since found out that he's a famous name in detention here in London.
I mean, and if
Detention.
you're a student, like if you're a college student of English literature, you would. That's a fairly modern classic that I'm sure you would be studying. Like, oh look, the latest thing. Fucking nonsense words.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me, this weak, stoop kitten of a man.
I don't know. You look like you're about to fucking throw hands, man.
Yeah, no. Soseki definitely has the energy. If anybody remembers, this is a big ask. But if anybody remembers the weird bad guy, not the general, but the bad guy from Quantum of Solace, who like is a complete nerd, and then in the third act, in the exploding hydrogen hotel, just grabs a fire axe and goes full freak out on James Bond. Saseki has that energy. Like, maybe he will turn into a wild man, but for the most part, he seems like a dork, a loser, a poor boy from a poor family. Funny enough, that song is about murder.
I know. I'm just thinking about Dallas, the Delta Green. There's a reason why Bohemian Rhapsody is relevant there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll now that I'm capable, I will tell Lucky to upload that sometime, and I'll get it out there. You guys should enjoy that one. It was pretty funny and good. All right, yes, I did miss this line. I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Shum's detective was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
I mean, you are a witness, so you probably should have been brought in anyway, but...
Yeah, I don't know what the exact state of the law is right now, but generally in America currently, it is discouraged to flee the scene of a felony without reporting it. And I'm pretty sure this is the era of London police boxes. Like, literally, there are telephone boxes and so on, so that you can call the station. That's why it's the whole Doctor Who thing later.
Well, I also do feel like this character is what do we like to say, a bit of the socially anxious.
Oh, yeah, no, this guy has anxiety. We should really prescribe him something for that.
Cocaine.
That would actually be awful, I think, for anxiety. Cocaine is a big stimulant.
I know.
That's when he goes super Soseki. His hair turns white and stands on end. He generates a white tiger aura.
Well, then we got to go with the opiates.
Chase the dragon. All right. Anyway.
Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in.
Oh, did you actually, like, throw a fight?
Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me. In impossible English. Maybe fiendish, foreign, film, flammery. Oh, is that why they can call him Inmate 53? Because they can't get his name out of him?
Possibly. Or they can't pronounce his name.
Well, we are in...
Oh,
no,
sorry.
it's me, yeah. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. That also is a very, very modern thing that you will not find everywhere. Police offices that actually make an effort to have translators handy.
Good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Well, if they misinterpreted your statements, that's their fault, because neither of those were grammatical answers to the question of, did you do a stab? I'm fine.
Did you stab a person? Yes, I do. I mean, if I was a cop trying to get some shit over, I would be like, he said it, he's guilty, he said it, yes, and there, grab him, go, let's go. I gotta get you some fish and chips and get in time for tea.
It's time for Code 99. Yes, there is, by the way, actual British police slang for
yes,
when you take a tea break.
Yes. I remember seeing that.
Also, ever since World War II, British tanks are mandated. They have a tea kettle inside.
Is that still well, I don't know if Britain
actually I believe they announced a new spec for the Challenger tank, and yes, it still has a kettle. Brewing tea is so inimical to the British mindset that they include the tea kettle. And if you're wondering why, it's because people in the British Army looked at the stats, and yes, a lot of tank crewmen were killed because they would stop to get out of their tank to brew tea. So only England would go, okay, here's how we solve this problem. We don't say, no, you can't take a tea break. We put the kettle inside the tank and run it off the water heater from the engine, so that you don't have to leave your armored box to brew tea.
I feel slightly bamboozled that Girls in Panzer was actually historically correct when they have a bunch of girls drinking tea inside a tank. I don't know how I feel about this now.
I do believe when it comes to tanks, Girls in Panzer is fairly accurate. as you would expect, because it combines moe with the Japanese love of milsurp. I have no, did we read this line already? I have never remembered.
I only got the 2 words. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. He's not fine now. Okay, I think we worked through all the dialogue.
Is there gonna be a new dot?
Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire.
Excuse you.
You could just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mister is more than enough.
Oh, yes, all right. They've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg of you to defend me in court tomorrow.
You really got me now. I don't know why we're so musical tonight.
I'm gonna be real. I'm like super fucking tired because, again, you know, I had fireworks going off until like 3 a.m.
You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well,
Why? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
maybe it's because that thing you do with your teeth.
Pretty sure you are putting a lot of stress on your jaw there, buddy.
Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour. I mean, yes, the Chief Justice of England did give me a free pass to do the law, but, you know.
A student?
I have defended a case of the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. What am I fighting for?
When you only been blessed.
No, Lucky, that's what we play in the flashbacks of the girl getting stabbed. And we play the GTA Wasted over it. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means.
It means whoever has all the money makes all the rules. Oh, no, Naruhodo-san.
I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here.
We're not supposed to be having a crisis of identity and purpose here, man.
I'm sort of a locum lawyer, I suppose.
What's locum?
Yeah, I don't know that one off the top of my head. It's
Google!
a Latin word, but I'm not sure exactly what he means.
Oh, locum. It's British, actually. A person who stands in temporarily for someone else of the same profession, especially a cleric or doctor.
Ah.
Interesting. Literally mean locum tenens literally means placeholder.
Ah, okay.
But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer for our great empire.
We like armbands.
Armbands are sweet.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
I'm about to get some alliteration.
A keepsake? Bleh. I know exactly what they're saying about me.
By the way, we got the real Sag music going on.
Oh, who do you mean? The lawyers. All the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness, why do you say that?
It's because he's foreign.
For the same reason, as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not the fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted.
A nobody, you say? Are you working for Xehanort?
Sir.
He's been Norted.
I heard them openly laughing about me before. In my earshot, without any compunction.
I knew that word.
At all.
I had to think about it, though.
Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And, of course, the foreigner did it.
Rude.
They even had the gall to say, The man doesn't understand of half what's being said anyway.
That's awful.
I mean, the British were pretty, like, kind of xenophobic.
You're not British? Well, fuck you. They're wrong. I've studied more English than half the policemen out there in the streets.
That is probably actually correct.
Yes. I do not know what England's literacy rate was at the turn of the century, but it was not good.
I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history.
Did Soseki Natsume actually go to Britain? I'm actually curious.
I do believe so, yes.
But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me.
Soseki.
So, at the very least...
Oh, actually, his actual photo actually matches up pretty well to his character design.
I like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Yeah, everybody can read my eyes. Soseki-san, it's just that I'm having a crisis right now, buddy. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the coast as thoroughly as possible.
If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes, thank you.
Yo, dog, I have to fucking...
I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Honorato Esquire.
It got worse.
So, I'm just gonna read a quote, an actual quote from him here, and I say, "The 2 years I spent in London were the most unpleasant years of my life. Among English gentlemen, I lived in misery, like a poor dog that had strayed among a pack of wolves." So, no, apparently he was suffering from mental illness, poverty, and like absolute loneliness. This man had the most fucking horrible time in London. So, no, this might be an actual pretty fair representation of him.
Yep.
Holy shit.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san.
Wait, does that mean that we're having this conversation in Japanese and he still says Mr. Naruhodo?
I don't know. He might be treating it like English loanwords and whatnot.
Yeah. Alternatively, having listened to handfuls of bilingual people speak, it's entirely possible that he's just rapid-fire switching between English and Japanese.
We have a case to prepare for.
Get my throat. Okay. Move. Wait, hold on. Go back. There's one thing we have to do that we haven't done to anybody. Look at my armband.
Yes! The symbol of upgraded bosses frustrate lawyers.
Oh, this guy's impressed.
Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side. You'll defend me.
No, sorry, that wasn't why I was showing that to you.
What the fuck? Then why else would you show me that?
Oops. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. Never change Ace Attorney. Okay. Alright, so we're going to move to Briar Road, but I'm going to step away for a second. Because I need to go refill my water. And also clear my throat a little bit, so we're going to activate Briar Road. And I will step away for a sec. Ugh. My bones. And don't you worry, I'll just mute me. So if Lucky wants to yell at chat, he can still do that.
I don't know if I got anything necessarily to yell about.
Actually, now that I think about it, I should probably get me some water too, real quick. So I will be right back. Lucky dash. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Just want to get so quick. But you do know what this means. This means at some point FGO is actually going to just make a Natsumi Soseki character, and they're gonna give him cat ears. It's gonna make him a Shota too, I believe it. I feel this in me bones. Also, apparently Natsumi Soseki was on the 1,000 yen banknote for quite a while. Not anymore. I believe his went out of circulation in, what was this, 2004? Yeah. Oh, let me go push some buttons here.
Okay, I'm back.
He back.
I have refilled my water and cleared my nasal passages. We are
That
ready
is
to
good.
continue the work. On the 19th of February on Briar Road, it looks like it sucks.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out something that is immediately visible to me without even doing an examine. Look at that bike. The bike is gone now.
That's you, be lad.
Sorry, I was looking at chat for just a second. So this is where it happened. Briar Road.
Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh my fucking god. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
Yeah. Is their job, you know?
Mr. Naruto, to see one with my own eyes. Weren't they in the fucking courtroom with us?
Yeah, these guys do look very similar to the bailiffs, but I think the Bobbies might technically have different uniforms. Anyway, she's just excited. There's Scotland Yard in the field.
They're often depicted in the adventure of Herlock Sholmes, but I never dreamt I'd come this close. The real Bobby's helmet.
Susato then proceeded to use the Susato takedown and steal one of their hats. What? The helmet?
Of course. I have to try one on one day. That was a little awkward.
Well, I hope your hattie dream comes true. Oi, it's me. What is the Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This isn't on a tourist trail, I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Of course, we're here to investigate.
So, you've been to Odin's house then? So, you've been to Odin's house then? What'd you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
Ooh. Got a nice little remix of our theme. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The books and court tomorrow, whatever happens. And the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Ugh. The stone-cold air of rejection.
Egghart, London at this time of year is full of stone cold air.
That makes it worse somehow.
I'm getting a stomachache.
All right. Well, we got 3 lines, so.
Might as well see what we can see. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector.
Oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna kick your ass.
She'll do it. Ever since I read about it in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
Yeah, it's the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, Mom.
Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Are you sure it's not the lack of eyes?
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful?
Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you. That's right, it is.
Oh really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the labourers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yep. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
This is true, by the way. Window knockers.
I had no idea.
I'm pretty sure he's going to end this story with, and then at night they have to go around lighting all the lamps.
Wasn't there... No, wait, I think there used to... Wait, I'm trying to remember.
There were dedicated lamplighters, but I also
Yeah.
suspect that that would probably get rolled into a police thing. We'll see. We'll see if he finishes the story that way. Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just not one of his duties. After that, he's not tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see.
I wonder if they're actually going to use...
20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. Yep, I figured. And when it gets dark, of course, it has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Like some kind of lamp lighter.
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well.
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. I expect to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
What are labor standards?
That's not invented yet.
Huh. I've always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish the dream to you, Mr. Naruto.
God! Why?
Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. About the case. It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago. Just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in hospital. I never said she was a lady. True it is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find much about her at all. I suppose that means I haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Also, yes, by the way, at least according to the police inspector, this young woman was merely stabbed, and she is still unconscious 2 days later.
That's weird.
Not normal. Here's a map of the local area. I happen to have it on me. You can take it if you want.
We're going to
Really?
need that.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's your policy to give lawyers defending suspects the old information to go on. You know? Like you do in Discovery. We're supposed to share evidence. I still haven't accepted the job yet, but still, I'll take free evidence.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. I mean, I don't know why you're waffling about this. If you don't defend him, he's just gonna get charged for a crime he doesn't commit. What is there to think about?
If you don't defend him, Van Zykes comes in with the upside down clothesline into the vampire pile driver. That's where he pile drives you into the ceiling because he's upside down. Obviously, as a vampire.
Yes.
And then he's just dead. Sasaki's poor opium-soaked bones are gonna explode. The local map has been entered into the court record.
Yay!
Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So, who did it, do you think? Not much of an head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but...
Just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that no one else was present.
Susato just said, the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, Mum, the precise moment of a stabbing didn't go unnoticed. Eh, what? We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. Hey, don't eat my fish and chips.
I immediately, what's the word everyone says? Suspect the credibility of these witnesses.
I mean, I said this earlier when we were talking about it. I'm like, I would prefer witnesses to evidence. Because witnesses we can destroy. Evidence evidence other people destroy.
Sorry if I'm a little...
Go ahead.
Sorry if I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to farm embers here. It's very important.
I wish I could. I also, because I have quite a few servants to level, as well. And it's a very good time. Now that I have the power of double Castoria 10-10-10 NP2 Musashi, I can in fact 3-turn the new dailies, and I'm there for that. Give me those sweet, sweet EXPs. And the 5 times great suck chance. Anyway, as Gregson was saying, it was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now? Oh, brother. The dialogue transformed into the witnesses. Tell me what you know! Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
Where are the witnesses?
A fellow and his wife. And the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens of all London. I'll be the judge of that.
I'm pretty sure one of them did the stabbing.
Shit. It's a cop. Fuck.
Oh, son of a bitch.
He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
God, if there's one thing I can say about fucking police corruption is they really stick by their fucking own.
Yeah, it's literally was studied in criminal justice. It's called the thin blue line. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing, no matter what, because police have a high stress job usually. They will stand by each other basically no matter what. It's why every time you've watched in fiction, if you see somebody from internal affairs, everybody hates that guy's guts, even though he does an important job.
Yeah, no, but a lot of police corruption like stems from that, and it's a little wild. But
a policeman? That might change things.
And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked.
Not peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them banging the act and all that.
But you didn't catch him.
You think it may be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions ahead of time? Oh. Ah, damn it.
Ah, damn it.
He got me. Be my guest. You can ask him what you like in court tomorrow. Oh. I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to. I mean, I don't know, Gregson, you could just tell me, you could just show me the prosecution's, well, I guess that's not your job, but somebody could show me the prosecution's witness list ahead of time and I could prep for them, you know? That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet that man beforehand, it seems.
Policeman witnessed the incident and yet didn't actually stop the man. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Yes, and as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me about that too.
Oh,
yes.
sassy.
One more thing, Inspector. What? Did you go out Columbo for a second there? The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. What are you bringing him up for?
Well, we're about to have a moment.
Was it something I said? The color has drained from his cheeks.
Hello.
Well, we might as well. It won't make any sense if we ask about the trial.
Yeah, flow conversation and whatnot.
Who did you hear that name from? Well, first I heard it from him, actually. I met him on a boat. It was quite distressing. But after that, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it.
Actually, I'm curious. We wouldn't have got this if we had gone here first, now wouldn't we? Do you think we would have to
Yeah, we probably would have had to go back after talking to Soseki and ask Gregson some new questions.
Yeah.
He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
Lodgings. I'm sure it was a result of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Inspire something, all right. Fiddle faddle. I've got a chip in my eye. Ow. Oh, it's salty.
The MSG! Actually, that's probably not a thing right now.
No, it's probably real ass sea salt.
Sick.
Scrape it
Literally.
right off the rocks.
I think... Oh, yeah, they probably do scrape it. The other one way I know that you can get sea salt is you actually just, like, take a fuck ton of seawater and just literally boil it down. What's left is usually the sea salt.
Yeah, there's some rocky and chalky coasts on England. I'm sure you could get some sea salt rime. The beaches in Cornwall are usually not sand; they're black stone, and that's a lot of the fishing comes out of there in Wales. A man's an amateur. I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. I am. Oh.
What?
I don't know where he get his information from, but he always turns up at the scene of the crime.
I feel like he's gonna show up just somewhere.
Wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? I added my own quote marks for Yonosuke.
He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble. Ever seen this before? I'm pretty sure Susato pulled it out in a previous conversation, buddy. Oh, yes, that's Ranced Magazine.
A wonderful publication in which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears.
Hey, Susato's going to be able to catch up in a couple months because she doesn't need to ship it to Japan. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And that so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Herlock Sholmes' tale at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us. Look, me socks are gone right now. I'm to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. That man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? I mean, if he's going around just saying whoever's the fucking criminal and then, like, dashing off into the sun with a ah.
Ah, yes, it's I, Herlock Sholmes. This guy did it. Goodbye! Fires Holmes' grappling hook out. Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship.
It's like he's Batman, but incompetent.
It's like if Batman had a sense of humor.
That's even worse. Goddamn.
Like that is really the Bat's greatest strength is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne can fake it at least, but like as Batman, he is completely dead inside. Like the best emotion you can get out of him is I am vengeance. I am the knight. That's about as emotionally there as you'll get Batman to be. Sherlock Holmes is like, hello, goodbye. All right, tell me about tomorrow's trial. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you gonna defend him or not? Well... Makes no difference to me, but I will say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. And you need barge poles because the River Thames is super polluted right now. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? Yep. There's no way to save that man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though. Sorry? Beg pardon? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals?
The violent ones?
Yep, that's right. That's right. I'm Tobias Gregson, owner of the Scotland Yard Gregson.
Sir.
His hat's not nearly tall enough for that, sorry. He handpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely? That's just my point, sunshine. Would you like a cute nickname? Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. No, he's talking about intent. Yes, this would be what? Assault and battery? We don't really ever. Yeah, if they distinguish a deadly weapon, we don't really get in the nitty gritty of the charges usually in this. Mostly because in Ace Attorney, it's always murder. But you know, there are multiple degrees. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting a Reaper to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase, you know, because he's got vampire teeth. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness?
Bruh.
You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Am I really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it? Blair, I'm watching you from your shadow, Blair. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. I guess it's time to examine the scene.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes, what is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak to him about this.
No. 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 By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, exactly.
Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again.
The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address. Ah!
Baker Street.
Just karate chops me. Baker Street.
Whatcha?
How do you know that? Also, ow, my brain case.
It's in the stories, of course.
That is correct.
221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
It might actually be the most famous address in the world at this time.
Probably.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find their way before Sato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable.
Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage.
Okay, but first I want to look at the crime scene. So we're to have a reunion already. Boom, da, da. Those Chosen by the Planet starts playing. Sephiroth's leitmotif. Wah, wah, wah. With the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Alright, before we do any moving, examine though. Yo, what up with the snowman?
Yo, snowman. What a delightful snowman.
I realized the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. Looks a little creepy though.
Oh, it has a scarf. Look.
You'd need one if you're out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm just here in my overcoat.
I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf, because we stayed in a very ritzy hotel.
I mean, I don't know if that cost your whole budget, but Magnus McGilded threw like 4 gold coins at you. I'm sure you can find a tattered-ass Doctor Who scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his.
But the person who made the snowman certainly would.
Yes, I know. You're right. Anyway. Look over there! Even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow.
I feel that that's important for some odd reason. Covered in snow.
Well, it does mean that the... Let's see. It was 2 days ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. What was that?
There's a broken gate.
Oh, no. We're going to talk about the windows. Oh, look at the windows of that building there. They're bricked up.
Are you sure they're windows?
Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks.
Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where no one lives at the moment.
There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though.
Why do they brick up windows?
I believe this is
dear.
a piece of trivia we will learn later.
Oh, okay. Oh dear. Everything still feels so very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place.
We don't even have bricks where I'm from.
Listen, they do amazing things with wood, all right?
All right, the bicycle.
Oh, a British bicycle, look! Although, the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be written anymore.
Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling.
It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well.
I remember that was a shenanigan right there.
Yes, because the height of Victorian fashion, which we're at, is very layered and very voluminous. That includes the bustle, which is basically like a metal ring to make your butt and hips look huge.
Huge!
And, you know, corset for tiny waist, but very incompatible with bicycles and horses.
Yes.
Good shot, Nostradamus. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that.
Goodness, do you dislike bicycles?
By the way, I think the joke here is that in the anime of Ace Attorney, for sure, it's shown that Phoenix Wright only rides a bicycle. He doesn't own a car. No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless.
Oh, wait till you learn about airplanes.
If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, you'd agree with me. What the fuck have you been doing, Ryunosuke?
We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around.
Can you pilot a bicycle in a kimono?
No. Well, yes, but it's very ungraceful. For reasons.
Yeah.
That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history.
Oh, the virtual cold's getting to me. Just had a sneeze. Ow. Oh, I hurt my bones.
Not your
Ugh.
bones.
I need those. I need to be able to sit upright so I can read and talk into the microphone at the same time. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll in this place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here.
Oh, it is sagging.
Yeah.
I just noticed that support pillar bowing out.
We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible.
Well, you're not going to bunk with Sasaki Natsume. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. I just had that conversation about being on firm ground. Okay, so I think we've covered everything here. Nothing about the light. So, tab over. What do you got for me? Police carriage?
Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage.
How did I know she would be excited about it?
They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals.
I do believe the actual slang term, I don't know if they're going to bring it up in this for this, was they called it the Black Mariah. I'm not sure why. You're very well informed,
Mariah?
aren't you? Yeah.
It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
You know, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone.
No. No, no, no. I wasn't being serious. Oh, my God. All right, nothing in the backdrop here. All right, Bobby Man. Tell me your secrets. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if you wander too close, you'll be clapped in irons.
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious.
Susato, out of the two of us here, who's been shackled?
Twice, even.
Technically a couple of different times, actually, because Turlock kept taking him off and putting him back on.
Yep.
We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern.
Listen, I am a modern man. I still get fucking agitated as fuck anytime there's a cop around.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough.
See?
Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Never again. I'm not doing that shit.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all.
I mean, the second time you were literally unconscious from sleeping drugs.
Okay, so I guess that is the crime scene.
Of course. But of course.
Okay. All right. The Crimson. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred.
Yes, it's very wide open space, isn't it?
That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding.
It's hiding in the snow, man.
Oi, what are you foreigners doing here?
Ah! Oh, we, just investigating the scene, officer.
Sparring with that mustache fella from Japan, are you?
Conspiring?
Got here to destroy evidence, have you?
Wow, that happened yesterday. You guys are already sensitive about that, huh?
Get out of here before I give you an hiding. Go on.
What was that last bit of slang you used, sir?
He shoot us away like rats.
Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. And I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm just going to think it very loudly with my blue parentheses.
What a disappointing experience.
All right, well, I do believe
yeah,
that
I think
is it
that's
here.
everything. All right. A new location has been added. All right. I'm not going to pinch you, Susato. You're going to throw me out of the carriage.
Yeah, pretty much.
To Shomes!
Oh,
we got an animated cutscene for this. Just casually riding around with my fucking sword.
How did you keep it?
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street.
Goodbye.
Also, where the fuck is my overcoat? I know I came here with one. I should be wearing it. It is February.
This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
A pinwheel. And a wind chime. And birdhouses.
Oh, as you can see, Mr. Sholmes has many things.
Wow. 19th of February, 12:53 p.m. Sholmes Suite.
This is the first time I think we've gotten a time all stream. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Possibly because this room is a freak show.
Ooh, stab the... Oh, we got parallax.
Is it as described in the stories, Miss Susato?
Hey, look, there's a violin.
Yep, there's his violin.
Susato-san? Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room.
Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. Also, shout out to fucking Sholmes's, fucking Charles Babbage-ass computer in the back wall there. Whatever the fuck that thing is. It's got vacuum tubes.
It looks like it's a
Ears.
super microscope.
I've never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be.
The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it! The romanticism! Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest?
No. Also, yes, this looks like a fucking I Spy puzzle.
It does.
Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, I suppose I can, yes.
Indubitably.
So if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer.
That was the most eerie, like, turn I've ever seen.
Please, don't mind me.
Her fucking zero turning radius spin.
Yeah, just...
It's like the nuns from Blues Brothers. Ah, she's obsessed. Oh, there's a skull back there. Well, looks like our detective friend isn't home at present, so it's time to
And
look
who-
at all this shit.
Who let us in?
I believe Sholmes has a landlady, so...
Ah. Oh, yes. Shoot, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head. I don't remember if she's a character in the game. But, yeah. Because it's a multi-story house, and Sholmes just has the one apartment.
Miss
Excuse me?
Hudson.
Anybody home? Yes, Miss Hudson. That's correct.
I don't know who this is.
Yes, I'm pretty sure this is another person, but I will just read it in a neutral voice. Oh, do we have a visitor? Shoo. Camera goes down.
Oh!
Oh, yes, hello. Gotta try and remember how I did this voice. It's British but high-pitched. Yes, hello. There I am, I think. Hello, is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes?
If this is Miss Hudson, I'm going to be a little
Hello.
bamboozled.
Oh, get ready for this one, buddy. Wait. Aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Shoo. I'm
Fade
pretty sure
away.
it's the same girl. Miss Susato! Did you see the girl who was just here? Fucking no.
Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
Hold on a second.
She's chasing the... Well, she ain't chasing the dragon. She's chasing the Holmes right now, buddy.
Hold on, wasn't the King of Bohemia from A Study in Scarlet?
I believe so.
I guess that means that Irene Adler is canon. The Great Ace Attorney. The King of Bowaria?
King Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund von Ormstein, of course.
I don't know if I pronounced that right, but whatever.
Isn't he a boss from Dark Souls?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there. The tea's brewed. And I have a freshly baked cake as well.
It's you.
I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. And we've got a new OST piece. Flashback, back. Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher, which is totally canon, by the way, if you forgot from last week. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. Oh, lucky didn't have to do a Cockney flashback.
No, not yet.
It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGillicud's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh, yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? Well, I suppose it would probably be black tea over here.
Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor.
Yeah, so there's audio stuttering. I don't think that should be anything on my end. I don't have any dropped frames or anything. Hooray! It's a winner. I tried blending different leaves
Oh, no.
designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here. And you have yet another ticklish trial tomorrow. How do you know this, small child? Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. I like how Susato has just finally realized, wait, what's happening here?
I love this peppy violin, by the way.
Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance?
Sholmes is just hiding in the rafters with a violin.
I could s-
Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely.
Oh my god.
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all of those things, do you think?
And perhaps more to the point.
She is wearing the goggles for deduction, though hers have a little heart in the center, I've just realized.
Oh, that's cute. I do love her design.
Why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I? Cutsy. It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson.
Well then.
In case you forgot, because it's been about 9 streams. Actually, not true, but it has been about 2 months. Wilson is the swap for Watson in this game.
Yes.
I live here together with Hurley. Ah, Iris is it? What a lovely name.
It is lovely.
Hold on, there was a Susato big what there.
Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it blew right past it. It moved on without us. So,
What?
what's the matter?
No, wait. This can't be. Did you just say your name is Wilson?
What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's me. Yes. Yes, that's right. And what are your names? Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry. I'm Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you.
Lovely. Susie and Runo. Got it. No, it's you. Fuck. I do it.
Susie?
And Runo? You know there's a Y in my name, right? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. She's a transformer!
More than meets the eye.
I have so many questions for her, and I don't know where to start.
Yes, and so do I.
Susato's questions are all about continuity. Okay, alright. Do we want to talk with Iris, or do we want to look around this fucking room first?
I mean, either way, I think we're gonna be here for a hot minute.
Okay, let's look around the room. Let's look around this hell room. Assuming that Iris doesn't just interrupt us when we look at anything.
Let's see.
Looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee.
And
Like a coffee
very
table.
bright. With a fairly ratty tablecloth, I want to say.
Yeah,
Look at those frayed edges.
yes. And it's not even all the way on. Like, you've missed the point of the tablecloth. One of the teacups is outside of it. But if you're using a chest or trunk as a coffee table, I'm sure you don't care about the rings. It seems very sturdy.
Mr. Holmes don't care about a lot of things, such as propriety and cleanliness, looking at this.
It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock.
Mr. Nahato, you mustn't go around opening things.
It's fucking locked.
I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did you come to that conclusion? Oh, that chest. Contains some of my most valuable things. And that smile tells me you're not going to give us any clue about what they are.
Ooh, you little devil.
Fireplace. It's roaring, thank God.
Fire!
I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we've arrived at this country, in fact. Ryunosuke is cold. Lingering beside the fire and watching the flames flicker and dance in the grate. It's so relaxing.
We can't relax. Not when there's so many interesting things on the mantelpiece.
If I remember correctly, I do believe Japanese architecture still does the center kitchen fire kind of setup with most common houses. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, probably. And I believe that, like, modern Japan, most of the stuff we just do with space heaters.
Yeah.
And aircon now. But believe it or not, we have a fireplace in this house because it does get cold in the winter.
Oh, it's just as it was described in the stories.
That's right. I live in such a hell state that it's fucking cold enough for fire in the winter, but now that it's summer, it's fucking 90 degrees nuclear hot and raining every day. I hate it. It is, just like the stories.
Yes, exactly. Inside that Persian slipper, for example.
My chocolates for 11sies. What about 11sies? Brunch? Afternoon tea?
And transfixed by that large jackknife.
Oh, she does the Herlock point too. Is my shopping list for the market.
Why a knife?
We're killing the Majesty for Susato today.
Yes, we are. Come back down to earth.
Oh, it's not quite how I remember it being described in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes.
Poor Susato-san, she looks crushed. Alright, so that was the whole fireplace. Nothing there. Nothing with this couch, even though that's a very interesting couch. Alright, what the fuck is going on here?
A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon.
Is it just me or does that bus actually have a hat and no shirt?
Yeah, I think he's got like collar lines, but you're right. It does look a lot like, even though they're all the same color, it looks like a naked bust.
Ah, what an entertaining collection.
This is the first time in my life I've seen a lonely old shoe displayed as an ornament. Oh, those are all mementos that Earlius collected from his past cases. Really? Even the bust? Yes, that's right. When the mood takes it, he likes to throw it on the floor and smash it to dust. The poor defenseless emperor? Mr. Sholmes destroys it? Yes, and then he buys a new one. That I don't know about y'all. That sounds incredibly English. Just having a bust of Napoleon you can smash on the floor when you're angry.
Oh. That sounds like some stress releasing.
You make it sound like he has the temperament of an insane sculptor, which he does.
How entrancingly bohemian of him.
So, this is Iris's half of the room.
Oh, it's so cute.
Christ, your typewriter is huge. What on earth is this big black lump over there? Ah, that fascinating thing is called a typewriter. You probably won't have them in Japan for a while because your writing system is crazy.
Typewriters can get pretty big and heavy, but not that big.
Not even in the retro days.
No. They still could be like fucking 20 pounds, though.
I forgot that she does that. It's so adorable. She does his fucking finger point. It's a machine that allows you to write on paper without needing a pen. And wizardly quickly, too. Ooh, that sounds like it could be very useful for someone like me with terrible handwriting. Alright, let's look at the tea service. What a beautiful English tea set, and so neatly arranged.
So neat.
It is a favorite pastime of mine, a cup of herbal tea in the afternoon. It is technically afternoon.
Tea made of herbs.
Normally we just take the ground up tea leaf. That's right, I grow all kinds of herbs in the garden, so I experiment with different blends.
Oh, it's Iris probably doing the wind chimes and birdhouses and all that stuff.
Possibly, but I'm not going to say for certain, because you never know. Remember, the man buys busts of Napoleon so he can destroy them and keeps a shoe on his shelf.
True.
One moment, don't go away. I'll brew a pot of the special blend I came up with earlier today. She looks delighted. I only hope it's safe to drink. Also, what the fuck? Ah, that's my blackboard where I note down ideas. Ooh, interesting. Let's see. Black Peter? What does that mean?
Don't you want to hear what Iris has to say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'll come back to that blackboard later. I mean, yeah, it's very anime for them to have replaced Dr. Wilson with, well, Dr. Wilson, but now tiny and small.
Oh, actually, I wouldn't even say that Iris is Wilson's replacement. I believe that actually Naruhodo is closer to Wilson's replacement, you know, as he goes around and makes sure that, you know, Holmes stays on course.
Yes. In the actual function of the story, Ryunosuke is more of the straight man to Sherlock shenanigans. Iris is, and I'm sure if we look at this, it'll actually say. That's a charming little white shelf, full of charming little bottles, too. Oh, yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode. Explode? Are they
exotic?
Oh, you. Fine, we're doing it.
Are they exotic chemicals? Do you use them for exciting experiments?
No, I make tea out of them. Yes. Yes, indeed. And as Hurley always says, chemistry is an explosive science.
I cannot see her
Sorry.
fucking point anymore. God damn it.
It's so good.
I agree. A single discovery can trigger an explosion of innovation all around the world.
Or perhaps he just meant it literally. Either way, mental note, do not touch any bottle that belongs to Iris. Okay, so we didn't bring it up, but Iris plays the role of being an actual literal medical doctor. Don't ask me how. Actually, it's a good question. My core record. People. Okay, so we got Susanoo, Strongheart, still crazy as ever. Gregson without his hat. Suzuki Natsume. A 33-year-old student. Let's not get out much.
He dies in like 10 years, by the way. She's 10!
Yes. And we should have even told us that, but it's right there. She has a degree in medicine and is the author of a popular series of short stories. Yeah, so Iris fills the role of being a literal doctor and being Sholmes's biographer. But as Lucky brought up, it's the actual, like, Ryunosuke who handles the, like, Watsonian, like, hey, what are you doing, Mr. Sholmes? Tell me about your violin. I've seen pictures of Western musical instruments like this. This is called a violin, isn't it?
Of course it is. Mr. Sholmes is renowned for his violin playing.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. It's often explained in the stories. It's inspirational, Mr. Naruhodo. Inspirational. I immediately started playing the koto, which was the closest Japanese string instrument I can find.
I mean, the koto's pretty rad, yo.
It is. What a shame you couldn't bring it with you to London.
Oh, yes, well... Papa was beaming when I asked him if he would buy me one. But after a while, he asked if I would only practice when he was out of the house. Ooh. So now it's merely an ornament in my room.
That must have been an awkward conversation. Hell, we got a trophy for that. It's rad.
Really? What'd you get?
Second-rate strings. It's a silver trophy.
Wait. Is that a VR and bullet holes up top?
Yes. What? Why are those bullet holes at the wall up there? Was Mr. Sholmes trying to shoot a pestery fly or something?
Mr. Sholmes would never do something so reckless.
No.
Those are the letters VR, standing for Victoria Regina, is Latin for Queen Victoria.
So you mean he shot the queen into the wall?
In a moment of boredom, Mr. Sholmes adorned the wall with a patriotic sign. That's all.
I mean, that does sound like Sholmes, but also keep in mind, this is at best revolver time. Like the first mag-fed automatics are very exotic and rare, and I think almost exclusively like German or Swiss at this point. And even then, they don't have any bigger capacity than a revolver. So this man had to reload like twice to fire that many shots.
And it's a fucking revolver. It's just bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang. Like,
yeah, it's not even speed loaders weren't invented. Nor was the I'm pretty sure the American, I think that's the model of 1917, the 45 ACP revolver that has like 2 half moon clips that you just shove in there. That's just all one at a time. Just knock them out, reload them, like a crazy person. Right, that makes perfect sense now somehow.
It's exactly as described in the stories. Oh, this is delightful.
Let me try to get closer to my mic here as I try to relax a little.
I'm not sure the real explanation is any less reckless than shooting at a fly, personally.
It's patriotic, Mr. Naruhodo. Patriotic.
Yeah, you don't hear me shouting Tenno Heka Banzai every time we go into court, you know, it's fine.
Is that an orb?
Lamp. Oh, it's just the shelves, okay. So all sorts on these shelves, chemistry, apparatus. That's apparati, buddy. Actually, I think you can, colloquially, you can use apparatus as the plural of apparatus. Books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. Like a human skull! Hey, how are you? It's all heaped up.
I'm just
so high.
resting here.
I can't help but feeling the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. I mean, we could make a Bob the Skull joke. I'm pretty sure he was around in Victorian England.
I believe so as well.
I keep telling Harley not to cram so much on these shelves. Good advice.
Solid advice.
He wanted to look something up in one of those books a while ago. Oh, lordy. But it was so tightly wedged in, he couldn't get it out. So he went and bought a new copy instead.
Oh, the frippery.
That's very, very Herlock Sholmes, if I may. I cannot pull this book out. What shall I do? Well, I'm very rich. I will just go buy a new fucking copy of my book. No dialogue for Skull. Sag. Alright, what the fuck is this thing? What on earth is this huge, over-the-top machine? That's the Great Analytoscope. It can analyze anything, really. Anything at all.
I would suggest that it analyzes Shwom's brain, but you wouldn't be able to find it.
That's absolutely incredible.
It's one of Hurley's inventions. It took him a whole year. He said it was to help him with his investigations.
What sort of things has he analyzed with it? Do you know?
Well, actually, he hasn't used it for anything yet.
Wow.
Oh,
Why not? Apparently on the evening he finally completed it, it suddenly occurred to him. I don't actually have anything I need to analyze.
oh dear.
I've also just noticed it has the fucking ticker tape machine on the side, too.
Yeah.
How about you, Runo? Do you have anything you'd like to analyze? The only thing that springs to mind is this machine itself. It's
I
not
wonder if we get to use it
self-aware.
later.
We might. Nothing for chemistry, so I think let me just scrub the room. Yeah, that's the machine.
Anything on the chair?
Chair.
Nope.
Papers. Nope. Okay. Let's double check the middle. This 3-section room, but I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Oh, wow, I can get the shelves from all the way over there. Okay, interesting. All right, just one final scrub-a-dub-dub. On the windows. Nope. All right.
Let us talk to Ms. Iris.
Tell me your secrets, child. Iris. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey? Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh no, not at all. I'm sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming.
I mean, it was the defendant's antechamber. Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us.
Like this?
Oh, sorry.
Like this? I don't know if that one carried. I tried to gulp. Gurgle?
Ah, thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Is she pouting in her little... I think she's doing her
Yes.
pouty face.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade.
Giving you the mean mug, is she?
Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly, so I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions.
Oh, no.
This girl is dangerous.
That's all that needs to be said.
Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Early, of course, silly.
Interesting.
Hurley?
My hands are too tiny for the giant machines, don't you know? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young... I would put a question mark on that, Ryunosuke. Daughter?
I would have said charge.
Daughter? Not likely. What? I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? Correct, you would say, father?
Papa?
Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes?
Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. We're roomies, don't you know? Your roommates? I would put an exclamation point on that one.
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you?
Susato, she's 10. We looked at the court record. It knows.
Don't doubt the court record.
10 at last this year. Well, what of your mother and father?
Record scratch.
Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. All right.
Oh,
Jesus
yes.
Christ.
There's something I must ask you.
I just imagine that Susato just shoves Ryunosuke out of the way. Of course. Go ahead, Susie.
Adorbs.
I'm a very great fan of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and
Oh, you have a copy of Runst magazine.
yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship.
Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world. My
Actually, now that they-
stories?
Now that they actually do put in this perspective, it does feel like while we are the straight man, I do feel like they really have just like shoved everything else onto this cute anime girl.
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I do like, I don't know.
It's very anime.
Yeah.
Also, we did actually do a record scratch there. The OST stopped. That's right. Hilly's always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me about them. Maybe they are quite fascinating. Fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard of them, don't you think?
Goodness.
Last night, he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land.
Oh, this is gonna be. Can we see this, please, so we may,
Hey,
correct
I'm a lawyer.
any-
Can I double check this to make sure I'm not being libelized here?
Yeah, or misrepresented?
Yeah. I need you to clear the likeness rights with my lawyer, me. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. Yes.
So you are the author.
Yes. I'll let you in a secret if you like. I'm gonna call this latest adventure The Speckled Band. The Speckled Band? Metal Gear? That's certainly very familiar. Yeah, actually, I think that there's some implication that some of these cases are older and he may have worked them before Iris could type, as it were. So who knows? He may have had other sidekicks. Like maybe the dead guy, Dr. John H. Wilson. Anyway, yes. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. Yes. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholm's first thought as well, actually. Yes. Of course, I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you? Some poetic license. You got a license for that poetic.
Well, I guess they've never actually declared that these publications were truthful. This is basically.
I don't think Herlock said that literally they were verbatim his cases. He just said that he is, in fact, the famous Herlock Sholmes from the stories. Even Ryunosuke was like, clearly this guy believes his fiction too much.
Like, this is what we like to say, inspired by.
Yeah, when you see a movie that says inspired by a true story, that's this.
Yes. So, do you mean to say, are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rand's magazine?
All written by me? Yes. On my wonderful and very modern typewriter.
But all the stories I ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, a Dr. John H. Wilson. Oh, maybe it was a pass on thing. Maybe Wilson used to write them and then was taken over.
Yeah, we'll see. Susato-san's getting more and more worked up. Also, that name sounds familiar. Ah, yes, that's me.
Oh no. Oh, it's a pen name, I guess.
I mean, my name really is Wilson.
But what about the Doctor of Medicine part?
That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old? I love every Inosuke comments.
Bakana!
At 10 years old. The
I
British
love this
educational
character. I don't
system
care if
really
she's
is
10.
something extra. I mean, no, it's
we-
this is the great anime-ness. Like, she's got the fucking goggles. Her hair is simultaneously drills, hearts, and a bow. In case you didn't tell, she's got the drill tails that end in hearts, but also she got the bow. It's great. Well, that's quite incredible.
And her clothing's actually both form and function.
Yeah.
Lovely. But
Susano's gonna have an existential crisis.
Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman.
Nope. Ah, yes. Sorry, I have to be careful not to break my voice when doing Iris. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Everybody would think it was weird. Hurley was assisted by a 10-year-old girl.
Also asks, I'm like a mid-30s guy who constantly looks at art done by like 12-year-olds and feels completely utterly useless. So it's not as outlandish as one would think.
I mean, I would like to bring this up. There are actual child geniuses. They do exist. There are, professional world-class chess players who are like 12, shit like that. You also got to keep in mind this is Victorian England. The qualifications for being a doctor are not so stringent. Like, yes, she would have had to go to medical school, which, yes, being a girl child is a little unbelievable, mostly for, like, sexism reasons, but not actually, like, impossible. Anyway, once again, talking about commenting on it, she's like, well, it sounds a bit strange. Sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow? You're right, it does sound strange.
Actually, yeah, no, she built a fucking smoke grenade gun and looks like to have a bazooka.
Yes. I mean, like, we're obviously going for the like, anime child genius cliche. Very steampunk, but it's still... It's not the stupidest thing we've encountered. May I remind you, our previous prosecutor crushed a wine glass with his bare hands and was fine. He didn't even have wine stains on his white gloves. Also, there were fireworks in the Old Bailey, which I know is not to fire code.
Also, remember, all the jurors can shoot fireballs into their giant scales
That's
of
right, yes.
justice.
The way we determine the jury vote is not the foreman gets them all together in a room and then reads out the results. They fucking smash the fire like button. They smash the like or dislike button into the fire. We're a little goofy here is what I'm saying.
I suppose it does. Yes.
Yeah, what do people think about me? I do my my work with a 16-year-old girl behind me. Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. Anyway, all that aside, about before. Yes, yes. What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer? That we just arrived in London, I mean.
I mean, she was just talking about how Holmes tells her about all the cases. Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all that?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on chat. Was the first heart transplant really done by a 10-year-old kid? That's pretty crazy. I mean, I feel like that about 20-somethings who are in the same business as me and more successful, so... I can't imagine a 10-year-old. Anyway, of course, I'd be delighted, although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present her Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Look at my goggles. Oh god, we have animation for this. First of all, I already knew that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? I observed your passport and your travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh. So, I was reasonably confident that you must have only arrived in the country. In the country? And on top of that... These bits are so good. Just the pause, then the bleh.
Bleh. Bleh.
You accepted a case against that particular prosecutor telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. The Reaper of the Bailey. I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. My god, does the prison have the same check-in system as a fucking nightclub?
You gotta make sure you pay your cover charge only once. Sorry. Listen, I've got Tamamoto 116. I'm going.
Yeah. In case you haven't been following Lucky today, he is absolutely going full Chargerino. He's
Yes.
charging up. They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see?
I didn't realize.
And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates.
Really?
Apparently.
They must have, if they have an actual system for it, they must get, well, actually, it is Britain.
I would imagine that the British bureaucracy would have a system.
Yeah.
There would be a form and a file for everything. I'm just surprised they have that many different colors of ink. Though I guess if it's just foreign and domestic, you can just do like red and blue or red and black or something. Anyway, so that told me that even though only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, the two of you had already cause to visit a foreign inmate at the local prison. However, neither of you is wearing a particularly sad expression on your face. So I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative.
Can we just punch Sholmes and take this girl with us?
That led me to believe you must have accepted a new case. Yeah, we'll just, we'll do like, the sergeant did in the first case. We'll have her ride piggyback on, Susato and just solve everything.
Yeah.
I see.
But how can you have known that the trial is tomorrow?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not any...
Susie,
like-
it's an Ace Attorney game. Of course it's tomorrow.
Everyone fucking knows it.
Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he'd caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been. Fucking Sholmes doing it in the flashback?
Yep.
God damn, this guy's slick.
Mr. Natsume.
Now, Runo
Now-
has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it's clear to me that you both just come from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case.
Actually, I will kind of agree with you, though I do kind of find it weird that we do just kind of axe off Wilson immediately instead of just ignoring him entirely.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't-
feel like that was probably supposed to be like, we talked about this because we obviously with the translation, the localization issues, because the Arthur Conan Doyle estate is a little picky, and as we mentioned, this game directly references actual Sherlock Holmes short stories, or Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, we got to do it both ways. So I think to the audience in Japan, it's meant to be like a giant like what? It doesn't carry quite the same weight with the other name. Like, it's meant to be like a big mystery element. Because you got to remember, we're only on case 4 out of 5 on game 1. And then game 2 has like 5 more cases. So we're building up a strong through line for all this stuff. Though I will say it is. I'm glad that the re-release they did, the localization one, is they actually like bundled the two of them together, because while there is a conclusion to this first game from what I remember, it still doesn't answer a lot of questions. I'm pretty sure it will come up later in some form. There's a lot going on here. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Well, he's always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know? He is so silly. And that's all there is to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Holy shit, so that's what a great deduction is supposed to be like.
I feel enlightened.
I mean, we did have a giant glowing banner behind us. We entered some kind of spirit realm. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. I'm honestly surprised.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction.
You have managed the certain something of Mr. Sholm's delivery. No, she didn't do any pirouettes. It's not quite the same. Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that.
This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please? Onegaishimasu.
Oh, I thought she was just gonna go, nope. Now we actually get a new dialogue box. Okay, so, yesterday, Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying. Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Alright. Gregson, you don't have a leg to stand on. Like, this motherfucker is out of town for at least 50 weeks, probably more, because he was already overseas in the first place, right?
Right.
So, he's been away for literally months, and then this case you caught 2 days ago is when they said the stabbing was.
Yes.
It's only been a day, and you're already so hard up that you're waiting at the railway station to ambush Herlock Sholmes. Come on. The great detective is a popular man, it seems. Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man run away from the scene.
Short, shifty-looking, stooped man.
Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all. You know, there was cloud people in the deadly fog. Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man, shivering in fear. Ugh, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective.
Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Isn't it? Please?
Oh, it is. I don't care what anybody says.
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly.
Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently.
Okay, because so it's inconvenient, we're just gonna be like, all right, that man, do it. Guilty, gone. Move on. Next case.
Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire.
Well, there is a reason why so many convictions are a result of plea bargaining these days.
It's like people can't stop doing crime.
That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying criminals in court. You know, we need just enough time to hang him. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person.
That's terrible.
Correct.
I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I mean, if you're pinning people just because they're slightly suspicious and calling it good, I don't know if I'm going to call that great the justice system. Just saying. It seems the opposite. That seems it's kind of a slipshod justice system. Just saying. Ryunosuke, man up. Man up,
I
fortify.
suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
Don't give me those sparkly eyes.
Do you happen to know where Mr. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? Almost an accent for Runo. As you'd guessed, we like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Questions.
Ah, well. I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene. If I find Herlock Sholmes in that snowman, I swear to God, Iris, I am coming back here and I am stealing all of your delicious tea.
Okay, Holmes, excuse me. If you're still investigating, why did you say he fucking Natsume did it?
Well, I bet when we find Sholmes, he's gonna say, "Oh, I didn't say he did it. They just asked me to find the man who fled." And I was like, "There he is. He's right there." And then they arrested him.
That's actually super fucking fair, and I kind of expect that will happen now.
Because they just said that the police grabbed whoever the first suspicious-looking guy. So if they ask, "Hey, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, we've got a guy who ran away from a crime scene that nobody can find," Sholmes would have been like, "Ah, well, he's right over there. Blam." And then
that makes a disgusting amount of sense, and I hate it.
They lock him up and cart him off, and Sholmes is like, well, I never said he did it, did I? Yes, Mr. Natsume? Haley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. He's probably busy pretending to be a coat rack. He loves doing that.
Iris, do you know where those lodgings are?
Hey, maybe we'll get some fucking evidence. All we got is a map.
Which I just realized we didn't look at. Hold on. Map. Okay, so Briar Road, Calabash Road,
And then Mersham.
Crimson. Yeah, and Misham Street. No, wait, that's not English enough. Misham Street. Yeah, it's gotta be weird. Mitchum.
Mersham.
All right, there's no other further, but I'm gonna guess there's probably gonna be some witness statements about, yes, I was going down this road and not that road, or some bullshit. And then we'll be like, why would you go down that road? Calabash Road is clearly longer. Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Correct. Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson while you were there? Yes, we know Inspector Gregson. Oh, goody. In that case, give Gregsy this from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
This is blackmail.
What is this?
Blackmail. A 5 shilling.
No, it's worse than blackmail. It's bribery.
Oh, he's gonna go get himself some more fish and chips. A 5 shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
Iris's postcard has been entered into the court record.
Look at it.
No, it is blackmail. It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem."
Hold on. Trust but verify. Let's see. Yeah, there's a Victoria 5 shilling piece. HUP Vicarstead, London, Northwest 1.
He puts a little heart.
And she has her own personal stationery.
Yeah. And it says, tell the general Blackwood everyone to know. I trust that will be a problem. Iris Wilson
Iris-
with a heart.
I love this child. I want to adopt her.
Herlock Sholmes busts in with his fucking put up your dukes gesture. Hold on, I heard that. What? I'll fight you, I will.
Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Oh, I lost that. Too much air.
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon.
I will just to bask in this glorious youthful radiance.
Also, it's February. There's a fire in this fireplace.
Yo, can we just crash on your couch?
We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris.
There's fucking hot tea. There is a fire in the fireplace. There are couches. You only have to worry about Herlock Sholmes smashing busts of Napoleon, stabbing knives into stationery, and firing wildly into the air with his pistol. Still beats rent.
Yeah? No? Just those 3 actions alone really does paint Mr. Sholmes as an eccentric.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime.
Lawyers away! All right, do we auto transition or do I have to push button? Oh, yep. Oh, we got some more. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. It's 5 shillings.
Maybe it's a combination blackmail and bribe.
Oh, it's a to be continued. That's our first to be continued. At only 2.5 hours, though. We can keep going.
I mean, it does save at the exact spot, so I think it's fine.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm jazzed up, so. Obviously, you couldn't hear me because I was without internet, but I was, cussing up a storm and pacing about not being able to bring you this delightful feature. Last night, yesterday. Investigation, part 2. That's right, we have 2 parts in the investigation without ever seeing the inside of a courtroom. Yeah, let's see if we can hit the trial at least.
19th of February, 2:38 p.m., Briar Road.
It does feel like we spent like an hour and a half there.
Probably, yeah.
It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation.
Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible.
Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at the silver tip that Iris gave us for him. All right.
Shablam!
But first,
Present.
I must double check. Okay, it's the same dialogue.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure. Oh, yes, present. That's right.
Present.
Oh, we don't get to yell, take that! Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk over fair and gallivants, that's for sure.
We have these for you. A present for Miss Iris Wilson.
Take that!
What? For me? From her ladyship? Her
Oh.
ladyship? Give that here, at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Don't wait for me to give it for you, will you? Now I see
Okay,
filings inherent in the system.
I see this is neither a blackmail or bribe.
Nope, accidentally hit my court record button. What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee, that's what it is. Royalties, don't you know?
An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean...
That's right, for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time.
Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
Of course. Using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. You know what's not difficult for you? Unlimited fish and chips. Never you mind that. So, What do you want to know then, eh? Go on, spill it. Sorry, beg pardon? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously, it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? It sounds like it's a problem.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodging.
Realist talk. Realist talk.
Couldn't we have just gone and asked Natsume?
Probably. But I think the idea was that if we did that, it would take us too long to get back and catch Sholmes there as well. Oh, a little knife-wielding, mustachioed Japanese fella. He lives in a right old hovel. It's right over there, look.
Oh.
And we're literally right here. Spoilers, I knew that one.
Very well then.
On the first floor of that house, in the corner where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up. This is also why I said we would figure out the trivia with the windows later.
That is nearby indeed. Oh, wait, didn't I see that when I was looking up Natsume?
What, something about Strand Street?
Yeah, because it actually does list all. He lived in 4 locations. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. He lived at 76 Gower Street, near the British Museum, 85 Priory Road, West Hampton, 6 Flodden Road, Camberwell, and 81 The Chase, Clapham.
Interesting. So this is different. If I remember rightly, the landlord is Mr. John Garrideb. Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure to give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it, you tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes, or else, alright? Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Is that fish and chips? Jesus Christ. Goodbye for now, and long live her ladyship.
Oh, she has a fan club.
By the way, he is correctly Britishly saluting. You do actually, the British way to salute is short finger up, long finger down.
I always called it palm out.
Yeah.
Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left.
Did he leave from that pose?
Well, clearly he just, just rockets just emerged from his boot and he just shot up while fucking the British national anthem played or something. I don't fucking know.
God save the Queen.
What is the British national anthem?
I believe it is actually God save the Queen. Or King, depending. The beautiful thing is you can switch them because I believe they're the same number of syllables.
Yes, it is God save the Queen. Or alternatively, God save the King.
Yeah, they swap it around. They're not shy. Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings?
Definitely.
I shall now examine the door. Oh, do we need to move? I think we did. Yeah, this is all the same dialogue we got already. Yes, it's a very beat-up house. Oh, okay, this is new. It's where Mr. Natsume's lodgings, just across this road from the incident took place.
Well, I said they did remove the check mark, so it's probably just new dialogue.
It must be awful for Soseki-san being caught up in something like this in a foreign land. Alright, yeah, so let's...
I just keep imagining. Oh, nice.
Oops, that was all the way
I need
back.
to edit a GIF to do basically The Shining when Jack Nicholson goes to the door and says, "Here's Johnny." Just replace that with Holmes. Just be, "Here's Holmes," because that's how I feel this is about to turn out real quick.
To Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
Why does he have a cannon?
I believe we went to the top floor.
This doesn't look as bad as it could have been. What the fuck? Whoa!
All right, we have several new characters. Who can be made? I could probably summon up a very flamboyant voice for this.
If you would.
May I help you?
Oh, that's the kind of voice. I couldn't actually think of one.
Yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrideb? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Sosuke Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here.
Wow.
We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client.
Ah!
That's slightly freaky.
1 moment, please. I shall convey a message to Mr. Garadeb.
I do believe that is the proper accent. I'm surprised I didn't. Well, actually, I'm not that surprised I didn't think of it.
Did you see that, Mr. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. We're gonna build cafes about that in the future. Technically, I think it's more of a French-made cafe, but still.
Maids, yo.
I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff.
Fairly correct.
But it was the first time I've seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better.
Also, not correct. There was juror number 2 was a maid last time. She kept talking about his lordship and clean. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? Now that we're in this weird room with a uniform and a cannon and a saber and some lions.
What have you? I'm assuming this person was some sort of artillery officer.
If I had to guess.
We only need to meet a butler and the experience will be complete.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment.
Also, there's a frilly apron over there, so I have some concerns about this man's private life.
Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garadeb will see you now. This way. And once again, we are at the point of the question. One of us must deal with this man, this moon man.
I should probably do it.
You want me to look around the room, give you some time to ponder?
Please.
Okay. Let's ask the obvious one. The cannon. What the fuck? That's a full-sized cannon. What is it doing in here?
Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica.
Nope, shit, he's speaking.
That old... Wait.
Yes, yes. That old thing. Bah, that's little more than a toy.
Sorry?
The army was selling it when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house.
This reminds me of that one fucking copy pasta. Keep
Oh,
a musket
yeah.
for home defense, like the founding fathers intended. It ends with running out of ammo and having to retreat to the top of the stairs to use the 5-pounder and fill them with grape shot.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I do not smoke a pipe. I do not advise this tactic, though. You should not stir your tea with your pipe end.
No.
Really? Isn't it overkill? And I carry a sword.
Be prepared, I always say. You never know when this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garadeb? Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see.
Wait! The barrel is hot enough to dry?
They dry very well on the cannon there, Joan tells me. Which rather proves my point, I feel.
It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame.
Oh.
Alright, well. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it?
It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing? Pah, not much better than rags, really.
Oh?
Wore that ceremony gone for my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is.
I feel like you are about dwelling on the past, Mr. Medals and Maps. And Cannon.
Anyway, it doesn't have to hurt the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? Oh, I see.
Perhaps you should leave the past in the past.
That looks like a Medal of Honor. Honor. And it's showcased on a very grand banner.
Yes. It's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. It's uneven.
What? That old thing?
Sorry? I'm sensing a theme here.
I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general will turn in his grave if I disposed of it.
I think this guy has a very hard problem of letting go.
The wall's the best place for it. Keep the bally thing out of my way.
So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose.
This tsundere motherfucker.
There appears to be an inscription on the metal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, for distinguished participation. Oh.
Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for.
Oh, no, it's a participation trophy.
Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles.
So you were an officer.
An artillery officer by the looks of it. Is this all the same?
Maybe.
Well, we'll click over here and see. Zoom! Enhance.
I don't think it was an army dropout. I just think he was not a man of distinction.
Yeah, he said he retired, and he was wearing a dress uniform at the time, so. He also walks with a cane, or has a cane sitting by his chair. I don't think we've seen him walk. I would assume honorable discharge. Honorable discharge. That portrait of Mr. Garrett is glaring at me, I swear. It does kind of look like that.
Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrett Deeb as well?
Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Well, that's not that weird. He's a British Army officer.
Rawr. Ah, yes. Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket.
Seemed to come back? What do you mean?
Chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing.
That is good salesmanship.
Now, in fact, now that I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need.
Hmm.
The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to the requirements.
Susada-san doesn't pull her punches. Or her throws, for that matter. Alright, so that was all one.
That is a lot of broken crockery.
Look at this crockery on display here. It's
Hey,
rather
use the right term.
unusual, isn't it?
Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't that delightful?
It's literally falling off the wall.
Although... Oh, that's yours.
Although the shelves seem to be broken, and the crockery is, oh dear, it's in pieces.
It really is. The words cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice.
I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it.
No.
Yes, probably something like that. Let's not delve too deeply here. Snacks.
Cakes.
Oh, look.
On a tea tray that is horrifically out of balance.
What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand.
Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Yeah, we're not forming lines here. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It's quite the English way. It is Mr. Garrett was accustomed to take 2 cakes with his tea. 2 cakes! No more.
Sounds delightful.
No less. Oh, wait a minute, though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally. And it would never do to waste the leftovers. So, whatever Mr. Garrett does need, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up.
That explains some things.
How magnanimous of you. Ooh, $10 word in this game. Alright, show me the sussy corner.
Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely.
Yes, it certainly seems to be someone trying to hide something from view. Also, yeah, now that I realize we've tabbed over, we could easily realize this must be several stories up. They said Saseki lives on the first floor, but this place has an unbricked window, so this must be the third floor.
I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek.
Ahem, ahem.
So Sada-san has no brakes.
No. Maybe let's not, Miss Susato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Ahem, ahem. All right. Tell me your secrets, weird old guy and maid.
Good day to you. John Garadib, at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's the defense lawyer.
I'm clearly so important I don't need to introduce myself.
I mean, that's the true power play.
Do excuse me for not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maywan, don't you know?
Was that the Boer War then? The Zulus? Somebody look it up. Also,
I
yes,
am
he
right
took a
now.
shot to the knee. He used to be a lawyer like us.
Battle of Maywad. Fought on July 22nd, 1880, was one of the principal batters of the Second Anglo-Afghan War.
The Anglo-Afghan War. Okay, that makes sense. We talked about this a few streams ago. That's also where Dr. Watson was injured with a Giselle rifle, by the way, in case you didn't get what Giselle Brett's name was. Or as she was called in the Japanese, Giselle Bullet.
Under service for my medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings.
Yeah, so he got a medical discharge. So he's a retired soldier. I never would have guessed.
Did a hell of a job getting up and downstairs. Now I can tell you, don't get out much, as you can imagine.
Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? Second floor? Actually, wait, no, we're British, right. Ground floor, second floor. Ground floor, first floor, second floor. So, Saseki actually lives one story up. It's important to remember, if you don't know that, that's actually how the British floor convention is. The base floor is always ground floor, whereas in America we usually call that floor one, first floor.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo.
Do you think so?
Well, Mr. Garadeb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall.
The commander of that was actually John
Burroughs, which was actually very controversial. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly.
Wow.
Dash it all, woman! Be careful! That was something.
Yeah, so that was Joan. Fetch the... Ah!
I was a little bamboozled there.
Oh, dearie me. I beg your pardon, sir.
You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands.
I should be more careful, sir. Yes.
So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now.
I don't know how quiet it is with the cannon. Yes, I see. Mr. Garrida, blink twice if you're in trouble.
Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs. Is that right? Yes, we'd be very grateful if you can answer some questions for us.
I mean, he is wearing a ring.
Only two, please, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Bly.
Oh my god!
Old
This character's actually named on the fucking Battle of My Wand Wikipedia.
Nice.
Man, people are thorough.
It's under the fiction part, but still.
It's under.
I mean, I went to go look up the author of Satomi Hakanden, and literally the day after, and already Wikipedia is like, in Fate Grand Order, a 5-star servant. I'm just like, oh my god, guys.
Well, honestly, believe it or not, considering there is a actual like internet culture being the first to do something, especially like posts or comments, I'm pretty sure there are people who are just like, as soon as they get information, like, I gotta write it down. I gotta be the first.
Yep.
We forged an alliance with the Emperor of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware.
I'm very aware.
I'm super aware.
So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were.
Is it as much in the public eye as that time that a British gentlewoman tried to frame me of murder?
Probably not. That is probably very hush-hush. What mum's the word?
Oh, is it?
Even had some famous detective poking around, in this old house, would you believe?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I do want to say we have passed the 3-hour mark, so whenever you feel like there's a good stopping point.
Yeah, let's see. Especially because we started early. It's still like 45 minutes to midnight. Let's see if we can get to trial. Actually, no, we probably won't. Because I'm going to suspect Mr. Sholmes will probably do the dance of deduction. Let's see if we can find Sholmes then before we call it a night.
All right.
Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not my cup of tea, all that detective business.
Quite.
Outed!
Oh, but you have a Can't Be a Rants magazine here, so... No,
Anyway, the chap is investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-san's room.
It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling.
Oh, okay, we got 2 dialogue here, so let's keep going. Let's clear this up.
Yep.
About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Gary Deb. Please, do tell us.
Because, well, obviously we still have plenty of buffer time in the stream. I'm not necessarily planning on having us go too long, because, hey, guess what? It's been a stressful couple of days, so I'm a little tired still. All right.
Oh, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging there for a week.
No, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then.
I have 2 lodges most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor... God damn it, woman. Dash it all, Joan. Do be careful.
So for the people at home, that was... became available a week ago, you see, and then T.
I feel like Joan is acting very sussy here.
Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. Yeah.
I feel like anytime we were about to get some information or something interesting, she does that.
She cuts him off. If you want to know my opinion, I thought
Oh
he was a
my God.
shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him.
Oh, why?
So clearly, this maid was the one who got attacked. But she wasn't actually attacked because she's been smuggling out this dude's stuff to pawn and get money for and getting fakes.
He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. Ahem. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. Yes.
I have a feeling.
And I am rarely wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. All right, everybody, place your bets now, because we're not getting that far this tree. Will we call this maid as a witness?
I think so.
Get your tuppence in now. Scratch. chin.
Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all?
Oh. Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. The shady lodger. Had you noticed anything else all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume specifically? Not the guy on the ground floor. Ah. Oh my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard.
Can you elaborate?
It's just like cross-X here. Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passed the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every day. And comes back to at 5 to light the gas fire. Funny little man is up long past the time of everyone else in the long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. Well, then how do you know that? Huh? Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I'd never known that Japanese fellow to retire and earlier than 2 in the morning. Mood. Ah.
Could you clarify something, I wonder?
What, pray?
How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine?
Got her. Oh.
Honestly, this maid's really fucking sus.
I'm also having a very hard time not just breaking out into spam, spam, spam.
I understood that neither of the lodges live on this floor in the house. Is that correct?
Scary to blind.
Sorry.
Yes, that's right. Whoops. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level.
Yep. Ground first, second.
Then, how is it that you know so much of the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they came back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed.
Some rear window shit. No.
No.
Good grief, John. Be more careful, woman.
Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. He wasn't even saying anything that time. Something doesn't add up here. Yes.
That was weird.
It was very weird. I guess you
very
just
weird.
derailed the conversation.
Yeah.
It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time?
The window?
Yeah, that window right there, buddy.
The big one.
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement, just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
Also, no chat, I will not give in to the spam. I don't know how that went for the pythons, but doing that screechy old crone voice is just not even as the last thing of the day. That's just asking to murder my voice. And I got
My voice is getting slightly murdered right now.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of different pitches.
5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garadib household. So I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan?
She's gonna pour tea on his knee again.
Oh, nope.
No, sir, it would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Right, the fog. Just play the fucking, like, fog sound effect background from Persona 4.
Yep. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as?
anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Yeah, I'm starting to think that Joan here was the one that actually attacked when she was doing some sussy baka shit.
I'm also, just like, how is the tea still hot?
She does keep adding more.
No, but I mean, like,
And
in the kettle, like, it's already poured in the teapot. How is it still hot? Because she's poured it out like 3 times.
True enough. Well.
Yes, was there something then?
Not again, no! Okay, once time is whoops, twice is 3 time is okay, and 4 times it's a fucking crime. What the fuck?
How does that go? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. No, it's the other way around. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And then fool me thrice, there's something else there.
Yeah.
For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing.
What is it? Once is a coincidence, twice is something, 3 times is a conspiracy? I don't know.
Something like that.
It's just saying here. Oh, actually, I want to pull up a history so the audience can double-check that line. Around that sort of time in here. So nothing direct quite. Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. That was history again, not continue?
Oh, it's once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3rd time is enemy action.
Yeah, that's the one. We are fully at enemy action, by the way.
Yeah.
Do be more careful, woman.
Of course, sir. I will not. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow.
That's pretty close.
Yes? I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garadeb? The way you were talking before, it rather sounded like there might have been.
How is there that much fucking tea?
Joan, dash it all. What is the matter with you, woman?
Also, Mr. Garadeb, you're literally, she's right there. Just move your knee. Move your teacup. Like, she keeps pouring in it while you don't notice. Liquids are heavy. They don't compress, so you would notice filling up your teacup. Be more prepared, man. Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened.
I'm gonna slap those quivering jowls of hers. I swear to fucking God.
Yes, quite.
All right, so something did happen, and she is blackmailing Mr. Garadeb. Mr. Garadeb, blink twice if you're in trouble. I will slay her with my one strike of my sword.
Nothing happened. We sit down to a quiet, uneventful evening, Joan?
That's right, Mr. Garadeb. What is the matter with these two? Is this some kind of kinky sex thing?
No, this is totally a mercy thing. Stephen King's Mercy, I should say.
Misery, yeah.
Misery, excuse me.
It's definitely like a Stephen King novel or a fucking, God, wow. I can think of Hitchcock. There we go. I'm like, I can think of The Birds. I can think of Psycho. I can think of Rear Window. But I couldn't think of Alfred Hitchcock's name. Blah.
It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what?
Well, Susato, I doubt we're going to get it out of them normally, so let's just go down a level and find a weird detective. He'll solve the crime. Or if he won't, he will conveniently not quite solve the crime in just enough way that we can solve the crime later. Anyway, I wish I knew.
Perfect.
Okay, tell me where Mr. Natsume's room is, or give me a key, or whatever.
Please.
Tell me which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on.
Why, certainly. Just below us on the 1st floor.
I'm pretty sure they said that already in dialogue.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak. I feel like we spent an incessant amount of time talking to these folks.
Yeah, this one dragged on a lot longer than I remember it doing.
Yes. Told me Knott's name has asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Sholmes, that is a lie.
Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services.
That's a blatant lie. Would it be all right if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean. I've already looked around your room here, and let me tell you, it is fuckled.
I don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs.
I've also just realized that their wallpaper is like a melon.
It is.
Green and squiggly lines. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try.
Squiggly diggly.
We know all the clues we can lay our hand on. And shall we?
Actually, have they been added to the persons?
Ooh, that's a good question. Court record. People. Ah, yes. Maid, question mark, question mark. Our main duty appears to be sitting at Mr. Garadeb's side, pouring tea. And then John Garadeb, 46. Man, those years in Afghanistan must have been rough. He's so pointy.
Very narrow. Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
Oh, he's gonna tell us something, all right.
All right,
Get the fuck out.
goodbye. Move.
I just want to make the eyes on you gesture to that maid.
I'm watching you. All right, we're gonna kick down Natsume's door. Cat!
He has a cat!
He has both a Maneki Neko and an actual cat.
Oh, this has to be a fucking reference.
But also, wow, they're not kidding. He has a lot of books. What? Just look at his place.
Actually, that is actually correct. Basically, that's all he fucking did while he was in England. He just read a fuck ton of books and didn't talk to anybody.
And the smell. It's so musty in here.
Oh, look at that blanket. He probably doesn't even, he doesn't even have a bed. He probably just wraps up on that blanket next to his fucking heater.
Probably.
Ugh.
I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Hey, don't you knock the smell of old books. Susato's just like, cat.
Yeah?
No,
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
Somebody call hoarders, even though we haven't invented TV yet. No, me either. Me neither, technically.
It's so dark in here, too.
It's because they've bricked up the fucking window.
Why?
And they're running on gas lights.
Is that
The window.
over there?
Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. Clearly there was a princess in here. But for some reason, it was closed up with bricks and mortar. Also, to answer Aaron's question, how do you move these books? I believe the maid said that he goes out every day to the bookstore and comes back with some books. So, if he's spending like his entire stipend in this country to just buy more books,
Yes. I actually did read about this. Apparently, he was given a government stipend, and he originally was supposed to stay with a college or university, but it was way too expensive. So he found cheaper establishments.
yeah, it sounds about right. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives.
Oh, Cambridge. That's where it was. By the way,
If you say I don't see Mr. Sholmes, I will literally tell you he's just off screen. I just have to pivot to the right slightly. He will be there.
I haven't. God damn it! I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere. Have you?
No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garadeb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating.
Examine. Move. Can we move? Oh, he's back there.
Okay, he's hiding behind the foreground. But all right, we've been going for about 3:20. We've just come to a new room where We will have to look at lots of things, and also, at any moment, Herlock Sholmes is going to jump out. So there's going to be a lot of dialogue. You know, we're so great to bring this to you. Even
You
on,
have to
a
investigate the
limited
cat before we go,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, we can do the cat, but
Yeah!
It's a calico.
meow. Ah!
Yes!
Oh,
What the
bye.
fuck?
Oh my, what an adorable little cat.
It's a sorcerer.
Perhaps he's looking after all these books while his master is away.
I don't know about that. He disappeared in that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Did he even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain?
That's a calico. Basically, Miike just means 3 color.
Yeah.
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. Oh.
That's made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. Girl, we've been on a boat for like 25 fucking weeks.
We were on a boat for 50 days, and I was in a closet for part of that, okay? All right, we have examined the
Alrighty.
cat.
All right, I'm slightly sad, but okay. Ugh.
Oh, I'm sure the cat will come back somehow.
I'm excited.
All right, saved.
I would like to call the cat to the witness stand.
Don't joke about that. We're playing an Ace Attorney game. You be careful about what you say can go on the witness stand. If we ever do the original Ace Attorney trilogy, you'll see what I mean. There's a great many court antics. I can just see Van Zyke's reaction though. You want to what? Yeah, but you know, we've been going for a little under 3.5 hours. It's close to midnight. And you know, as I said, it's been a stressful couple of days for me. Like I said, he was tired earlier, and our voices haven't necessarily been the most perfect. Luckily, I didn't have to do Iris for that last like half hour, because I almost lost it a couple of times there. But thank you so much for tuning into this slightly delayed Great Ace Attorney. We made it to our first to be continued, and that was still not that. That was like after the whole Iris conversation too. So like, it's been like what, like 30 minutes since then.
Something like that.
Yeah. So. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, we'll probably be moving Fail Betrayal to Thursday. I think Dallas said we might have to start a little bit later, but that means we get Loth. I know he said he was busy today. So, you know, tune in for our regular streams and stuff. If you haven't already, you know, make sure to double-check all your other stuff. If you haven't logged into FGO already, yes, make sure to log in today. So, all that good stuff. You know, check out Wanted if you haven't already. And we've got some other stuff as well. We did a special little live stream thing over the weekend, and we had a regular Let's Talk FGO. It still happened. There's other news in it, so check that out. Sorry, my pop filter was very askew. And yeah, I think that's going to be about it.
Yeah.
All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. We'll see you next week for more Great Ace Attorney. Good night, everybody.
See you next time.